Hello again everyone, this is Reg from Micro Grinder with the 16th in my 16th video in my 13 Snap series. I continue making these even though I now do other ones too with like the Shadow series and I think my last video that was sweat was my playing some standard tables straight away before I carry on with that. Yeah, I don't think I can fold here. It's way too likely he's going to have a hand like Ace King, Ace Queen, something like that. And he does. I'm going to c-bet the Ace Queen here, quite small. It's a good board for our range, it's pretty dry. And then yeah, I mean that jump from him there is really quite poor. He did a very good job of repping exactly what he had, which is kind of not what we want to do when we're playing poker. We want to have a little bit more deception than that. I mean, if he's balancing that and doing that with aces and kings, it's fine, and queens too. But if he's just doing that with ace king and making different sizes, which I don't know if he is or isn't, with his aces and kings, he's making a pretty big mistake. So yeah, I was about to say, I don't play as of like maybe nearly a week ago now. I've stopped playing the snap games. I don't think they are particularly good anymore. 13L is fine, but I'm not making enough per hour at 13L. I mean, I'm rolled and I believe I have the ability to be playing 100L regular tables. But I think when I've been playing 15L snap, the game quality hasn't been there. I've been winning at approximately 4 big blinds 100 for the last 2 months, which is fine. But it's not a lot of fun. I don't enjoy it. I need poker to be more fun than that. Then I like to feel like I'm really crushing a game. It motivates me, helps me enjoy poker a lot more. I'm not going to see bet here to 2 people on this board. So yeah, just if I was beating snap at say 7 big blind 100 or something like that, I would absolutely continue grinding. With 4 big blinds, I believe I can have a better hourly rate just playing 100L regular tables and playing way less hands per hour. I think I can have a better hourly rate and also get more pleasure and finally, hopefully try and realise my ambition of moving into the mid-stakes sometime in 2016, which is something that's been held up slightly. I've had that ambition for a while, it's been held up slightly because of my snap grind. But I am going to continue producing these videos, even if I get to 200 now next year. I still plan on producing at least one of these videos a week, because I just think they seem to be quite popular. People enjoy them. I get decent numbers of viewers of them. It could just be regulars watching me, who knows? But they certainly seem to be the most popular videos on my channel. I enjoy making them. So yeah, I intend to carry on making them even if I do reach 200 now. So this is definitely something I'm doing for the longer term. I'll plan on doing the other videos too, and I'm always looking for ideas for new series. Producing 2 or 3 videos a week is something I just enjoy doing, so I'm just going to keep doing it. Just when we have a quiet point, I may as well get my spam out of the way right at the start. 3-bet the ace 9 as a bluff. I don't know anything about this player, but I think my hand is too weak to call. Probably don't particularly want to be folding it too often, just versus a small cut-off open either, so I don't mind 3-bet. Yeah, just to get my spam out of the way. I am a micro-stakes coach. I'm currently working with Addict team players, which is the lowest it's been for a while, but I have had a few players lately who've come to me, just had 1 or 2 sessions and not really shown the level of dedication or commitment that I expect to find as a coach, and I think players should expect of themselves if they want to improve at poker. So yeah, I mean, I've lost a few people lately who just chose not to continue working with. So I am looking for perhaps 3, 4, maybe 5 students who are looking to maybe have a longer term relationship. And I'm certainly looking for that. If you think you might fit that description, please do get in touch with me. Because I think the people I work with longer term certainly show the best results. Here I'm just going to bet because the showdown value isn't great, but we have decent equity. I'm just giving up here with on that 8 card. I mean, I would have maybe barreled in any card over 10. But the 8 just, I don't think any fold equity. I don't know this guy from Adam. No idea what his range looks like, but when he check calls after calling a 3-bet on that board, I don't think I'm getting any folds on the 8. Or not enough folds to continue bluffing anyway, so happy just to give up there. Well, not happy to give up, but willing to give up. The time is currently 20 to 12 in the AM in the UK. This typically isn't the best time that we want to be playing online poker in Europe. It's certainly the time where we're going to find the least weaker slash recreational slash fun players in our games. But instead of making a video, it's absolutely fine because hopefully it will put us in some tougher spots, which make for more interesting content. I checked there because I was going to go for a check raise. I don't think I can get too much value by just leading out. So I think check raising there, I can rep quite a little bit of nonsense and then just put people in harder spots, protect my checking range a little bit. Then just going to fold. Here, because I checked back the flop, I'm just going to call. This wasn't really the guy I was hoping to get too much action from. I was hoping this guy was going to bet and we're going to bet a check raise him. When he leads the turn, there's just 2 people. I suspect he probably has an ace, a decent amount. When he checks, I don't think he has ace king. I don't think he has a full house. I think we lose to ace queen. We're going to get calls from ace 10, ace jack maybe. Well, ace jack definitely, ace 10, maybe ace 9. I think we have a decent thin value bet opportunity here. And I'm going to fold to a raise. And he just fold. At least I think he folded. I blinked. Yes, he did. And that's something that I am trying to work into my game slightly. I'm trying to work some check raises in. When I have a hand that I guess jack there, I'm not really going to be able to get 3 clean streets there, I wouldn't imagine. And people are going to fold most of the time, or they're going to turn out be better if they stick around for 3 streets a lot of the time. But if I check and then bet, sometimes I get to induce some, well, just get some money from hands that would have folded to a bet. I can also see people who are in the business of stabbing. Sometimes you don't have to fold. If somebody stabs there with a hand like ace 10, they're probably not going to fold. And I get to just build a bigger pot against the hands that I am beating. It's something I'm not really sure of yet. It's something I'm just trying to work into my game. It's a bit harder at Snap. We don't have stats, so we don't know how often people are betting versus C bets. We don't know how often people are probing. It's a lot more guesswork involved. But yeah, I don't think it would have been too bad of a spot to check raise it against a half pot type size bet. If we were to make it bigger, I might just check call. Here we're going to 3-bet the pocket kings. When the ISO's 4x, we said, hang on, it's called 4, but I didn't realise this guy had min raised. So I'm definitely going to make it a little bit bigger now. Because I expect to get action from one of these guys. And we didn't, which is a shame. I mean, when we got min raised and we got almost a min 3-bet, you expect, or you would hope people would be somewhere, it's in a range where they might want to call. Or maybe even 4-bet, 5-bet. That wasn't the case at the time, which is a bit unfortunate. This is the guy earlier with 3-bet, and then we C-bet and check fold in the turn. So I'm going to take a similar line here. I'm going to C-bet, and then I'm going to check the turn to him because he's seen me take a similar-ish line, albeit the positions are different. He might be more prone to float me like there and then stab some turns if I show weakness. So that was my plan there. But the guy just folded. So we didn't get where we executed the plan, but it didn't go as far as we expected or hoped it might do. How did I from China? If I thought some weaker players behind here, I would probably just call. But it doesn't appear to be anyone stacked really. I mean, this guy could be a recreational player. He hasn't quite got a full stack. Donato and not a regular. I'm going to start by c-betting here. We're quite big. I think there's lots of value we can get. Seven's a really bad card for us in terms of it improves a lot of his hands. It produces even more draws. I'm just going to check back here and then think about calling some rivers. If he bets, and if he doesn't bet, I'm probably making a bet for value myself. I'm not too concerned about the 6 of diamonds. First I'm going to start by c-betting this ace queen. Pretty small. I'm not trying to make you fold anything good. I think our hand's slightly under reps here. I think he can do this with that pocket 8s, pocket 9s, pocket 10s, those types of things. And he's meant to be behind quite a lot here when he takes this size in. But having said that, my hand is under reps, so I'm just going to, sorry for the nip roll by the way, I'm just going to call. Expect to lose a decent amount, but win enough at the times to make it okay. And he did have the 9-6, which is kind of unfortunate. And if this was a regular game, I would absolutely put a note on this guy now that he defends 9-6 suited versus onto the gun. Because that's a nice thing to know. I think well, 3-betting or calling here is both reasonable options. The guys from Canada, more likely to be bad than good, so we'll go with 3-bet. I will be folding to a 4, but unless it makes it really small. Yes, he is not a good card, but I'm not ready to give up yet, so I'm going to check call this turn. Because I think he's going to bet quite a lot when I check to him, and the ace doesn't have to hit him too hard. So I think I'd rather just let him bluff here. If I'm going to put more money in, I'd rather put it in this way. Let's see about the ace queen. I think we can get a decent amount of folds. Mostly from hands that were already beating, but I don't mind that. If we can get someone to fold their equity share, I'm quite happy to do that. And I'm probably just going to check call this river too. Although the 3 isn't great. I mean, 5-6 has just got there. We have a really, really easy fold here. I'm having a hard time giving the guy credit for an ace unless he's got 2 pair. 2 pairs is a weak and obviously have an ace, and he can have any of the 2 pairs if it's bad. Would he bet 5-6 on the turn? Probably not. I'm just going to call down here. I'm not in love with it by a long way, but I'm going to call. Yeah, pleased with the way we reasoned that out. Pleased with the outcome. It just didn't make too much sense that he wasn't really telling much of a story there. He's kind of trying to tell me that he's floated the flop and hit the ace. Yeah, when I've got like basically the nut bluff catcher there, I think it's a good spot just to check call against people who are probably bad. We can refer his bad by his stack size. So yeah, I'm perfectly happy with how I played that. And let's just look back. Was his float? Was it as bad as it seems? Well, I guess he's got backdoor equity. But, yeah, not that fond of his float either. But at least he carried his plan out. He floated, then he made some bluffs on a run out that made me think. So I mean, he didn't play the hand terribly. I mean, if he had more chips, he could have put me in a tougher spot there by making a bigger turn bet or a flop raise or something. I mean, I don't hate what he tried to do there. I just think his stack size prevents him from ever being able to do it too effectively. Doctor spends 3 bets a lot. You know he watches my videos. Maybe he just 3 bets me a lot. Maybe he just 3 bets a lot in general. I'm not sure. But yeah, he certainly likes to try and give me a hard time, which is fair play to him. It's absolutely what he should be doing. We're not here to make life easy for our opponents, that is for sure. I remember this guy from a few years ago when I was grinding 100L6 max as my regular game, and he was playing there, and I was surprised to see him in the 13L games. Maybe poker's just got too tough for him, who knows. Or maybe he's just like me, he just can't find any good action, so he's just playing some 13L. I'm going to start by checking here with the jack. There doesn't seem to be much value in betting. I'm going to fold to this guy's 3-bet because he's pretty nitty. Carry on checking here against Jamesy. We could have the best hand against something like 2 10s, 2 9s, Jack 10, those type of things. I'm going to squeeze here, I'm going to fold to a 4-bet from tracks and probably call it off against a 2. Here I am going to just fold. If he's bluffed me there, if he's turned a made-handed to bluff there, congratulations to him. But that's all I'm really beating, unless he's just completely airballing. Not the best of flops for me, but we only have like a pot size bet left. We have equity against the pocket pair he's going to call with, so I'm just going to shovel it in, and I'm hoping he folds. I expect him to call a decent amount, but we're doing okay enough. See bet here with a good shot, backdoor flush draw, overcard. I think we've plenty going on to justify a c-bet. Probably wouldn't fold to just one raise there either. This pool must be really quite big, this 13L pool these days on 1888, because I am quite diligent when it comes to tagging players, but every time I come to play 13L, I'm just constantly seeing players I don't have tagged. Some are new regulars, some are just semi-fish, semi-regulars. I think the 13L pool on here it's a good pool in terms of it's not tough. There's not too many players that are going to put you in too many tough spots very often. There's not a lot of 3-betting goes on. I don't think there's too much aggressive semi-bluffing post-flop. People pretty much just play their hands face up most of the time. What you do find on this at this limit is an awful lot of like tagfish type players, like your 25-11s, your 18-8s, those type of players. The players that have learned to be tight-ish. I haven't really bothered to learn much after that. There's lots and lots of players in these games, and we are kind of most of the time in the 13L games when I do lose money, it's usually because I'm doing a tagfish's value betting for him, because I do like to go for something value. And yeah, these games they're certainly not tough, but I don't think there's huge win rates to be had in them. I think you could probably beat 13L for 6 blinds, 7 blinds maybe. But 2 tabling, maybe 5 blinds, 3 tabling. So we're getting 5 blinds, 3 tabling, 600 hands an hour. That's like $9 an hour plus a little bit of reward. So you can maybe make $10 an hour in these games. So yeah, it's a legitimate way for a lot of people to to make an okay wage, particularly people in developing countries where perhaps wages aren't as high as they are in some of the Western countries. So I can see why these games are so attractive for people from Eastern Europe, South America, those type of places, because you can probably make an okay living in your country playing these games. But then if you're a Western player, you're not going to be able to make enough money to significantly improve your quality of life in these games. You need to be playing higher. The problem with playing the higher games is 50 and 30 There's a big step change. Big step change. It's getting bigger all the time. I see more 100 players in the 50 pool. And yeah, 50 is no picnic on 888 these days. It's still beatable, but it's no picnic for sure. I'm just going to complete here. I don't particularly like completing for the small blind, but we've got a potential weak player in the pot. I think we can get good implied odds from when we make our hand. Let's start by checking. Don't intend to fold to one bet. Just going to keep checking. Don't think we're going to get able to fold many pairs in such a small pot. So we don't have much fold equity. We have a little bit of pot equity, but we just concede the hand. Just 3 regulars left behind. King 9's close. I'm going to open it anyway for the sake of a video. But I could be persuaded not to open that. If I just play the normal session. Both these guys are pretty aggro pre-flop. Well, not dead aggro, but 2 of them are aggressive players pre-flop. So I'm going to get 3 bet more than usual here. But I still think it's an okay open. We have Cowboys. Let's hope we can get some action. The good thing is we've got 2 regulars behind us. This guy has played higher stakes, so he's not going to be too scared of 3 betting buttons. This guy's got the aggro tag 29-24. Yeah, so there's a good chance we could face a 3 bet here, which would be quite exciting. And we have the second nuts. A lot of players timing out here today, seemingly. A little bit frustrating when you try to make a video and keep the content flowing and keep the chat flowing. That is not a particularly pleasant flop. I don't think he has too much ace-x in his range. I think aggressive players are going to 3-bet a lot of ace-x. I don't really know this guy's 3-betting strategy, so he could be the type of player who does just defend ace-jack and ace-10 with a call. So I'm going to start by checking. I'm going to call the turn and probably fold a bit. That's my plan here. I think we can definitely induce some pro bets here from the guy. I don't think he's going to bluff the river too often. And I can definitely have some ace-x that checks back here. So I'm not too concerned about only ever having kings, queens, jacks, those type of things in my check call range on the turn there. Let's see if my note helps me in any way. So the guy is capable of bluffing according to that note. It's not the same situation as in the notes that he just spew with raises. But against someone who bluffs a decent amount, we are quite high up in our range here, so I'm just going to call them. Expect to lose a lot, but I think it's going to be fine. Yeah, the guy does. I mean, some guys will 3-bet that all the time, other guys won't. Without knowing how someone, without knowing someone's 3-bet strategy, it's hard to really know what to do there. If he was a player I've faced regularly in my regular game, I would hope to have a bit more information about how his 3-bet strategy is pre-flop in the blinds, and I maybe wouldn't have made that mistake against him. And that is something I absolutely would not. That he's sorry, just deciding whether to call here, but I'm not going to, because just two people behind me would like to squeeze. Yeah, that would absolutely have an impact on how I played that hand postal up against him in future. And I wouldn't make that call. Now I know he has like ace jack, ace queen, those types of hands in his range there. I think we can just fold that river, but sometimes we don't know. So we have to find out. Getting to showdown against people in small pots is a decent way, especially with hands like that, where we're not always going to lose. I'm not saying just start calling people down regularly to gain reads, but if we're in a close spot and we're going to gain a read, I think the value you get from gaining the read is just a nice little bit of compensation for the times that we do lose. I don't think we're always going to lose there. I think it was a fine call anyway, because we just didn't know. And then we gained some information too, so I'm not totally devastated with the call. I'm just going to fire a one and done c-bet here. It hits our range. He can fold a decent amount of times. If you can get into fold like king high, queen high, those types of things. When he calls, I'm done with it. No problem, just giving up here. And still have no problem giving up. It's going to be a shame if he does show down a hand like pocket sixes or something like that. If he does, and this is a regular game again, I would just take a note that he's peeling c-bets in position with queen 9. I don't blame him for the line he took there. Fold the 9-7 suited. Open the 5s, fold the king 3. Sorry for the quiet spell here, but this is just what sometimes happens. When we play poker, we just have spells where nothing much happens, and when you're making videos, sometimes it's hard to just find things to say without rambling on. I don't like too many quiet periods, but at the same time, I don't want to be talking too much rubbish either. We'll 3-bet this guy here with the 10-9 suited, because I think there's just two regulars behind and a short stacker who I believe is, even though I've got him tagged, I believe he's, for want of a better word of putting it, a pro short stacker. Not particularly when I get squeezed in this spot. I'd rather just 3-bet now. We can get it to fold a decent amount. We can make some hands like this that make for really interesting spots in videos. I could c-bet here for sure, but it's good because we can just c-bet and be comfortable enough getting it in. But do we get value? I don't think we get an awful lot of value here. Are we going to make a better hand fold? I would say almost never. So I'm just going to check back with the plan of calling the turn and then deciding on the river, depending on what the river is. When he checks again, I'm just going to bet. I don't particularly want to give another free card to ace queen, ace jack, jack queen, whoever knows what other game. Lots of overcards you can have here that plays this way. I don't want to give two free cards. We spike the flush on the river, which is always nice. He called pretty quickly on the turn, which suggests to me he probably has some kind of weakish made hand. Now it's just a matter of if he's in bluff catching mode, do I go for a large bet? I think I'm going to. It's going to be pretty gross if he raises me here. But I'm going for a large bet. If he's bluff catching with a hand like 2 queens, 2 jacks, something like that, I want to get max value. I also want to be able to put maximum pressure on his range there. I think perhaps I could have bet smaller just to try and get a call. When he check calls that turn, that's either going to turn up with a flush on the river, or some kind of weak made hand most of the time. I'm not sure if I'm just playing results here or if a small bet would have been better, but yeah, I'm not happy with the way I played it. Happy with the line I took. We just didn't work out. We didn't get the call. We open in the 5 or it folds to us here. Which looks like a new player. I don't remember seeing that particular icon before. People tend to stick with the same icons. Rarely see that one being used, but I've seen it a few times this session, so he could be a new regular. So as you can see, at this time of day, there really isn't that much action in these games. They're really quite dull. Third chair is definitely better. I mean, I thought this guy was a regular, now seeing him within punch of the gun. So perhaps that read is wrong. 3-bet the ace check here. So yeah, I mean, these aren't the best times to play these games for sure. I think they're much better in the evening time mainland Europe, from say 7 PM mainland Europe to 1 AM. Probably the not best time to play. See, bet this really dry flop on the left hand side. Not to bet too big. I'm not going to try and make him fold a king, just try and make him fold. Some hands that are beating us. They're still quite weak. With this ace, I'm going to start by checking. I'm not checking to fold because I think people can stab an awful lot here. He's from the UK, which probably means he's going to be more likely to be bad aggressive than anything else. Not particularly good turn card. If he bets again here, I'm just going to have to tap out. I've got no choice. I don't like it, but yeah, I think we can peel there and then peel any turn 10, queen, jack, ace. Maybe bet the king, represent the king, but when he bets twice on that board in a 3-bet pot, kind of just false default. There's nothing much else I can do. I can't do anything about it. Sometimes we just sometimes end up folding the best hand. We may not have had the best hand there. It kind of felt like he may have had some weak-ish made hand, or maybe just flop trips, who knows. But I don't particularly like c-betting. I think check calling there is definitely better than c-betting. Just have some fun with Doctor's Pets. And this is purely, I mean, this isn't something I would typically do, but because I know he watches the videos, he might watch this, and he 3-bets me a lot. I did that purely just for my own silly little bit of amusement. Let's see about this tripod. Pretty small. Again, just try to get rid of fold ace-x. Some small pocket pairs, that type of thing. We can hit a queen sometimes and we get called and be good, so it's not like we're drawing dead if we get called. A Vertify where you're from, Ukraine. So you're quite likely to be quite a tight player. I think we can get away with just calling here. Don't expect to get squeezed too often. And we do, which is unfortunate. Now it's just a question of, do I want to call again? I mean, I'm clearly behind. I mean, I don't for 1 second think of my front here. I don't think we're quite getting the right price. I'm going to fold here. We're going to treat this donk bet like a check and respond in the same way I would to a check, which is just a c-bet bluff. when I get called, I'm pretty much done with it. No intention of continuing bluffing against some guy who takes this really quite poor fishy line. I have no idea what he's got here, but I'm very confident he's beating 7-6, so easy fold. It's something we've talked about in the past, how people quite often ask me how do we deal with min bets. Just treat them like checks. If somebody min donks into you or min bets into you, just respond exactly the same way that you would respond had the guy checked. If you're going to bet versus a check, then raise him. If you're going to check back and just call it, we're never going to be folding to min C bets. We're just going to treat them like checks. I don't usually defend this, but because we're making a video, I will do it because we can. I want to try and get as many interesting spots as possible for the last 5 minutes of the video. I'm going to check raise against this size. Because I think when he c-bets half pot on a board that wet, I think he's going to. I mean, he might just that might be a standard c-bet size. But on a board that's pretty damn wet, that board. So typically when he makes a small c-bet, I'm usually going to be thinking that he's just trapping the pot up, rather than be value betting. But the problem is that a lot of his stabs will have a decent equity against us, so just turn my hand into a bluff there and move on. I usually don't mind donking sets, but I prefer to donk them on wet boards and when there is a known weaker player in the pot. This Dens, he could be a weaker player, but the other two guys, I know this Let's Create is not good. He's a pretty bad regular, but I think I'd certainly prefer check raising here. Problem is we are really deep against the unknown guy. I'm just going to call here. Quite a few draws have developed, so I might end up putting myself in a tough river spot, but I'm just going to call here because I don't think I'm going to get too much value from raising. The Jack isn't the worst card in the world for us. Ace Queen has just got there. Queen 9 has just got there. They both seem pretty unlikely. When he bombs this size, though, I am concerned that we are behind to pocket 10s, but he can equally have pocket 4s here. I'll be taking the same line. I'm going to call. And yeah, when you use that size, I always thought he was value betting. It's just he can be value betting worse. Unfortunately, on that occasion, he wasn't. Yeah, but I'm not at all unhappy with how we played that hand. It's run out pretty bad for us in terms of like him getting there. But I think he can definitely have King Jack there. He can have King 10, Jack 10, pocket 4s. I think there's plenty of worse value hands that he can have. Just timed out there, no idea what I had. Again, I'm really quite nervous that we might end up paying off too much here. If this guy bets again, I'm probably just going to fold. And I'm certainly going to check back because this guy can definitely have 6x. He's got the green tag. I won't be too keen on putting any more money on this particular river either. Just going to check and hope that my hand's good. There's no real value I think we can get here. Go back to that 9-7 hand when the guy just pot the river. I think we have to accept that he is almost certainly value betting when he bets into two players that big. I just don't think it's a spot where he's going to be bluffing too often. But like I say, I think we beat too many of his value hands to fold. and it's easy to be result orientated there to think, oh, if we'd just bet the flop or if we'd raise the turn, etc., etc. That's not a spot to be result orientated. I think our line was absolutely fine there. The guy had a better hand than us. It's just, it happens. I'm going to start by checking here. Probably call one bet. He just certainly doesn't have to have a king to call that flop. He can certainly have some draws. I'm going to check the river. Maybe call a smallish bet, but I'm hoping it just checks through and hoping we win. But yeah, we're not going to fall for 120. Don't expect to be good here too often, but I mean, we don't need to be good too often. And he has 2 queens. So again, we've lost the pot. I'm perfectly happy with the line that I took. So we've been going for around 40 minutes now, which is the length I like to make the videos. I'm just going to sit out at my next big blind and wrap things up. I think it's been a relatively interesting session. We've had some decent spots, and yeah, I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope you've got something from it. If you have got this far in the video, hopefully you've enjoyed what you've seen, and you might want to consider getting in touch with me for some coaching. My contact details can be found in below the video on YouTube in the comment section. Please don't hesitate to get in touch if you'd like to explore the possibility of taking a session, or hopefully a handful of sessions from me. We've got the tenors just to finish off with. So yeah, I'll hope to hear from some of you soon, and if I don't, I wish you all luck with the grind and hope that you crush everyone but me. We've been 3-bet by an absolute nit here, and he doesn't have a full stack, so we have a really easy fold. The rock tag is a nit. I mean, I know Ricky really well. He's probably one of the tightest regulars out there. I don't think he's going to have many or any bluffs at all there. If he does, congratulations to him. He's doing a good job of disguising his hand strength. I'm going to call here because of Dark City in the blinds, and because it's probably going to be the last hand of the video. I don't want to end on a dull point. He checks here. His range for checking is going to be hands like pocket 8s, pocket 9s, pocket 10s, maybe his jack queen, those type of things. Rarely do I think he's checking a king. So I might just bet 3 streets here. And we didn't need to, the 1 street got it done. I might just bet 3 streets, because when most regulars take a check call on that board, it's not that often with a king, it's more often with a hand that's worse than a king. So I'm just going to start working on bluffing the guy off his hands there, because I don't think we have enough showdown value with that 5. But that's it done, all wrapped up for another video. I hope you enjoyed it, and until next time, good luck.